In the vast and mysterious depths of the ocean, where the line between myth and reality blurs, there lie stories of ships that set sail only to be found empty, their crews vanished into thin air. Join us as we delve into the eerie tales of 7 ships whose crews disappeared without a trace, leaving behind nothing but silent vessels and unanswered questions. Mary Celeste. In the shadow of World War I, the schooner Zebrina embarked on a fateful journey from England to France in 1917. Merely 2 days later, she was found aground abandoned near Cherbourg, with her cargo intact, but her crew had vanished. What confounded investigators was the ship's impeccable condition and the absence of any crew or clues to their whereabouts. While this may, at first glance, appear to be inexplicable, it is important to place the journey of the Zebrina into context. Europe in 1917 was at war and Zebrina was delivering fuel to northern France, which would make her a legitimate military target. But a German attack, most likely from a U-boat, would not explain how the crew alone were targeted, or where they went, or indeed why the French were able to salvage the valuable cargo themselves. What weapon could the Germans be using which would remove the crew while leaving the boat intact? U-boat captains would take the log of the vessel they attacked with them to confirm the kill. But the log was present on the Zebrina, and the ship was completely untouched. The unanswered questions leave the tale of Zebrina shrouded in mystery, a haunting reminder of the uncertainties that lurked beneath the surface of wartime maritime travel. The High Aim 6. The High Aim 6, a Taiwanese-owned fishing boat, vanished without a trace, leaving Australian investigators baffled. Departing on Oct. 31, it was found adrift on Jan. 8 off Broom's coast. Despite ample fuel and supplies on board, there were no signs of the captain, crew, or lifeboat use. Speculations range from piracy to migrant smuggling, but evidence suggests a legitimate fishing operation. Personal items and rotting fish were discovered, ruling out foul play. One theory is that the crew abandoned ship due to a storm, but this remains unconfirmed. The engine was running upon discovery but later stalled, indicating a sudden emergency. The only clue lies in phone records showing calls made from Bali, raising more questions than answers. With each passing day, hopes of finding the crew alive dwindle, leaving the fate of the High Aim 6 and its occupants shrouded in uncertainty. The Kaz. The Kaz, also known as the Ghost Yacht, was a 9.8-meter catamaran that gained attention in 2007 when it was found drifting off the Great Barrier Reef with no crew on board. The vessel was initially discovered by a helicopter on April 18, 2007, and a subsequent investigation revealed that the 3-man crew was missing. The crew members aboard the Kaz were Derek Batten, Peter Tunstead, and James Tunstead. The last confirmed contact with the vessel was on April 15, 2007, and it was believed that the crew had encountered difficulties at sea. The yacht's engine was running, and a laptop and GPS were still operational. However, there were no signs of the crew, life rafts, or any distress signals. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the disappearance of the crew led to various speculations and theories, including suggestions of foul play or a man-overboard incident. However, without concrete evidence, the fate of the crew of the Kaz remains unknown. The yacht was later salvaged and investigated, but no conclusive information about what happened to the crew was ever determined. The disappearance of the Kaz crew remains one of the unsolved mysteries of maritime history. The MV Joyita. In 1955, this fishing and charter boat was found abandoned in the South Pacific 5 weeks after it had been reported overdue. The air search mission could not trace it until a merchant ship found it drifting almost 600 miles off its source with no sign of passengers, crew members, and cargo. The life rafts were missing, including the firearms and other equipment on board. There was a doctor's bag and several bloody bandages on the deck, and the broken radio was tuned to the universal distress signal. Still, what happened there was never revealed, as none of the crew was ever seen again. The Jan Seng. Some ghost ships are so mysterious they barely even have a backstory. In 2006, the Australian Coast Watch found an 80-meter ship floating in the sea. It had a broken tow rope, so being lost while dragged around the water would explain why it was empty. But that was about all investigators could go on. The name Jian Seng was printed on the side, but there was nothing else to identify the ship. Investigations found no records of distress signals, no identifying documents or belongings, and no reports of a missing boat. They couldn't even figure out who it belonged to or where it came from. The most they can figure out is that it probably supplied food and fuel to fishing boats, but that didn't answer why no one tried to save it when it broke off. The Nina Yacht. In 2013, 70-foot yacht named Nina, sailing the vast and unpredictable Tasman Sea with its owner, David Dykey, his wife and 3 sons. Nina was no ordinary yacht. It had a proud history of victories, having won races from New York to Spain and even the prestigious Fastnet race in 1928. As they set sail from the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, little did they know that their journey would turn into a harrowing tale. Nina, an 85-year-old wooden schooner, faced the Tasman Sea at its worst, cold, wet, and stormy. The family battled 8-meter swells and gusty winds up to 65 knots, and the situation became dire. The Nina yacht's crew reached out to meteorologists with concerns about dangerous weather conditions, then stopped responding. Given the 70-mile-per-hour winds and 26-foot high waves, it seemed obvious that the boat had met its match and never made it through the storm. A fruitless search effort might have been the end if it weren't for a mysterious message. 3 weeks after anyone had heard from the crew, an undelivered text reached one of the meteorologists. "Thanks, storm sails shredded last night, now bare poles," it read, noting that the boat was still on the move. The family of a 19-year-old girl on the boat took that message as a sign that she was still alive. Their private search turned up satellite photos that they thought might be of the missing Nina, though most experts say it was just a large wave. Despite the efforts, Nina remained elusive, lost somewhere in the vastness of the Tasman Sea. Sarah Joe. The Sarah Joe was a fishing boat that went missing in 1979 under mysterious circumstances. The boat, a 17-foot Boston whaler, was owned by Scott Moorman, and he was accompanied by 4 friends: Peter Hanchett, Benjamin Kalama, Patrick Wasner, and Ralph Malaakini. The group set out for a day of fishing from the island of Maui in Hawaii on February 11, 1979. When the boat failed to return, a search and rescue operation was initiated. The U.S. Coast Guard conducted an extensive search, but no trace of the Sarah Joe or its crew was found. In 1988, nearly a decade after their disappearance, the boat's hull was discovered on a remote atoll called Taongi Atoll in the Marshall Islands. The atoll was located over 2,000 miles southwest of Hawaii. The discovery raised many questions about how the small boat could have traveled such a vast distance across the Pacific Ocean. The fate of the crew remains unknown, and the circumstances surrounding their disappearance and the journey of the Sarah Joe to the Marshall Islands remain a mystery. Thanks for joining us on this intriguing journey through maritime mysteries. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our latest content.